there, my name's Gill Tiney. I'm from Collaboration Global, and this is our podcast, Being Human, Hidden Depths. I'm going to be interviewing some of our members from Collaboration Global, and they're going to be sharing with you their extraordinary lives. Although they would probably believe they're just normal, everyday, average humans, but they are extraordinary. A bit like you and me. We all have our story to tell. We've all been through difficult times, and we've come out the other end having learnt an extraordinary amount about ourselves that we can share with others. So I think you'll find lots of things that will resonate with where you've been in your journey as well. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Hello and welcome back to the Being Human Hidden Depths podcast with me, Gill Tiney, for Collaboration Global. I'm delighted to invite somebody that I don't know very much about. It's very rare in this space. Normally I've had a jolly good conversation or we're best mates, or I've found out all about this person and I've just fallen over them. But this is a man who approached me, not asking everyone to approach me in this way, but he lit a spark. And I got curious. And that's what I love. That's what whole podcasts are about, is being curious. So, Jon Hill, welcome to Being Human Hidden Depths. It's lovely to have you with us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you this question because many, as a community at Collaboration Global, we have usually our members in this slot. And I ask them, what made you become a member of Collaboration Global? So I'll ask a slightly different question. What made you approach me as opposed to, I don't know, Simon Sinek, for example, or other people that have podcasts? What made you approach me?
Well, I love the idea of like learning what humans are. You know, I think that's if we're the most curious species on the planet. Well, actually, there's probably like some weird birds or something that are as fun as us. But I think as humans, I'm always trying to study them and learn from them, and I'm constantly amazed and inspired and mystified and
Yeah.
and curious about humans. So I thought it'd be a great conversation.
So already I can see, and probably our listeners will be able to see how you and I are on the same page, because I'm deeply curious about people. I am fascinated by society. I am aghast at some of the things that we do to each other, but I'm also inspired by how we recover and how we come back into our fullness. So I think this conversation is going to be really interesting. One of the things you want to talk about, apart from your profession, you can share with us what you do, but also you've got a special project that's been on the back burner but is now out there in the big wide world. Tell us what it is you do and what's this special project.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So I think the easiest way to say it is I'm a storyteller and I'm a film director.
Mm.
So I've been doing this for a long time, over 20 plus years, in various forms. But the goal as a child, when you're coming up and you love films. My dad would take me to movies. My mom loved movies. My brother worked at a video store.
Hey.
It's kind of always the dream is
Yeah.
to write and direct movies.
Mm.
And so it's been quite the journey. But I finally, and we'll talk about it, but I finally made a film called Above the Clouds, which is streaming online now. You can get it anywhere. And it's a journey about the time right after my father passed away. So off the top, you would think that maybe this is a serious, kind of sad time for me, and it definitely was.
Sure.
But I wanted to, show some of the stuff that actually happened. Right after my dad passed, I went to a coffee shop and I met a complete stranger, and we just started chatting.
Mm.
And then we just kept chatting and we kept chatting, and then we decided to let's go take a walk. Let's go check out this place. And then we just had spent this day together, and it was like one of these magical days that only exist in movies.
Oh.
And I remember I posted about it at the time. I said, one day this is going to be a movie, because I just can't believe all the twists and turns that have happened to literally two complete strangers.
Wow.
Um, and so we wrote a short film for it based on that day. It was in a film contest, and we became a finalist, but we didn't win.
Oh
And then for a good 13 years, I was trying to convert that short story into a feature length film.
gosh.
Um, and for 13 years, I failed at it,
Oh.
and it became this kind of little mental trap, in this case where, my now wife would say, "Let's go on vacation or something." And I'd say, but I really should be working on this movie,
Oh yeah.
and then I wouldn't work on the movie and not go on vacation. So then I'm like, oh, I started this career doing video production in sports. But even then, when I started, I was like, well, okay, this is just the job. I'm really a feature film director. I'm secretly Steven Spielberg. You just
Cool.
don't know yet.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't really give my actual job my full time attention, because it's part of it. And but again, I wouldn't make the movie. So it was kind of this. I'm learning this phrase where your passion becomes your burden.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The thing that you thought you wanted to do for your whole life, or for a certain amount of time, this is the thing you really want to do, and you say it, and you tell everyone about it. You convince
Mm,
yourself this is what you should be doing.
mm,
But in reality, sometimes you have to face facts that maybe this isn't what you really want to be doing, or
yeah.
at this point in your life.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I had to tell myself that. I literally went to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror, and said, John, you are not a feature film director.
Oh, John, that hurts my.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And I said, but it's okay, you
yeah.
know, because the truth is, and this is a fun thing about humans, I think we sometimes say what we hope to be or what we want to be, but
Mm-hmm.
our actions really tell us who we actually are,
Oh, that's a
you
teacher
know?
waiting to
You know what
happen,
I
isn't it?
mean?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good. Sometimes it's good, you meet a nice, humble person, they're like, oh, I'm a nobody. I just work. And you're like, yeah, that guy has been running a nonprofit for 30, like that guy saved,
Yeah.
that guy's a
Yeah.
doctor. He saved hundreds of lives a day. Oh, I'm a
Yeah.
nobody, So it works both ways
We've met loads
for
of
the
those
good and bad.
people, haven't we? How many times
Yeah.
have you met somebody like that and you go, "You're amazing." I mean, just
Yeah.
can't believe it, and they just don't see it. They can't.
Yeah. So I think because your actions are who you are,
Yeah, for
for the good
sure.
and the bad. So that was fine. I just had to look at myself and say, look, if this is really what you wanted to do at this moment, you would be doing it. And you're not. And that's fine. So I had to quit. But that's when some of the other things I was not focusing on got really good, you
Ah,
know? And then me and my wife we got engaged, we got married, we had a great time. We got to relax and enjoy and
yeah.
spend that part of our lives together without the burden of me, the pressure of me, and this imaginary goal, this arbitrary thing that I had set out to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Same
Interesting.
thing with work. I was able to be like, you know what, let me try this sports thing and like give it my all. The thing
Hmm.
that I want to give it my all this time. And that's when we started winning awards and having our best results and things like that. So
Wow. Yeah.
looking back, I think I love sharing that story because and maybe I love sharing it because it worked out, but it was a necessary step that I needed to take at the time.
Yeah.
Um, and then, I always knew when you're ready, you'll be ready and you'll know it.
Do you know what? Talking of films, Hollywood has taught us and ingrained in us that there generally has to be a happy ending. So when you've got that goal or you've got that purpose, you kind of keep wanting to persevere because you want the happy ending that's supposed to come at the end of it. But that's not life. It's not real life
No,
at all, you know.
no,
Who are you hurting by keeping on and on and on and on? It's not just yourself; it's the people around you as well. And I think an 8 year old taught me this once. When people say, oh, I'm not very good at that, he just, oh, well, yet.
yeah,
Just because you're not doing it back then doesn't mean to say you can never do it. It just
yep,
means that there's a time and a place for people to have their success, and their success looks different in different ways. And a success to a 20-year-old is very much different to a success to a 40-year-old. And when you look back at your
right.
20-year-old self, it's like, oh, why did I do that? I should have done this. I didn't do that. I could have done this. And it's a different viewpoint. So I think we lay all the blame at Hollywood's door, I think, for that.
For sure, for sure. And Yeah, and you see that in success with a lot of people. You know, everyone wants, how many people write their novel when they're in their 40s or 50s, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because they finally have that time to step back and really see the big picture for it. And maybe there's less pressure on them. Maybe the goals
Mm,
are different. You know, I think when you're younger, your goals are sometimes, you know, to reach great success and heights and materialistic things or egotistical things. And then as you get older, you realize like, you know what? Maybe I just want to paint so I can learn how to paint.
yeah,
You know, maybe I want to play the piano not because I'm going to be a professional pianist, but just because come holidays I want to know one or two songs, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that happens a lot with people.
Hmm.
And then yeah, for me, it finally like the time was right. Everything was kind of, you know, and then the time for everything. Like the time for my job was it was like, okay, now I've been doing this for a while. Like now I kind of want to go back and itch the old scratch I had, you know? So we eventually did that, and then that became the start of the next part of the journey, which is a whole other thing where you have to raise the money, you have to cast the
Mm.
film, you have to do this, you have to build the team, you have to do all that.
What's the
Um,
favorite bit that you did? What's the bit that you enjoyed the most out of all of that? I mean, a lot of it is a chore. I get that, but what's the bit
you
that
know
you?
what? It is a chore, and this is one thing that I learned. I heard a quote, I think from Mike Tyson, the boxer,
Hmm.
but he said, "Discipline is doing the thing you hate, but acting like you love it."
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so that's it. So me personally, I hate bothering people. I hate asking for money. I
Mm.
hate, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I hate to, you know, whatever it is. Yep, same. Whatever it is, sure, I'll do it. I don't want to look bad. I don't want someone to feel bad, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
So I don't like asking for money. I don't like asking for help. But what I had to do is almost create a character in my
Okay,
head of a person who does love asking for money,
okay.
who does love asking for help. So I had to kind of like become this, what I call like a highfalutin, like Texas oil man, you know?
I love it. Did he have a name?
Who's uh I guess not. I guess it was
Tex.
just me,
We
but
call
that was
him
the
Tex.
personality. Yeah, yeah. Tex had to say like, hey, buddy, you're gonna give me this money because this is gonna be the greatest film of all time, and
Gonna
it's
be
gonna
so
work.
grateful. Yeah,
Yep, you're gonna be great. You know, we're gonna strike oil, and then we're gonna take over the town. So you kind of have to put that shift on,
mm,
and I think for me it does help because like you and me just said, like we have who we are by the way that we talk. So it's almost easier to just say, okay, I'm gonna be someone different,
yeah, I like
and then it allows you to be free to do
that.
some of the take some of the pressure off because now it's not me asking. It's this guy Tex that's asking,
Yeah,
and if you don't like him, that's fine because I'm not really him.
yeah. He's gonna
You know,
go. He's gonna
he
disappear.
can
Yeah.
yeah, he can take a no, he can take a rejection. I can't, but
Mm.
reject him, and then I'll be like, well, you know, Tex got rejected. I don't know what to tell you guys, but so that was just like one thing I kind of had to do is like just be
Right.
pretend you have to be, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's with a lot of big projects and or a lot of big goals. You
Yeah.
have to become the person you never thought you could.
Yeah. My business
Yeah.
partner used to have this expression. He said, "Who are you being right now?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean, who am I being? I'm being me." He said, "No, no, you're not. That's not Jill. Who are you being?" He said, "What jacket are you wearing?" Okay, he said, imagine you've got this jacket. He said, and if you take it off, what's underneath it? If you're wearing a jacket of bravery or courage or insecurity or feeling small, take it off and see if you can feel bigger. You know, what's the jacket that you're wearing? And it is true, we can put this disguise on or this mask on ourselves. How often do we hear about these ADHD people that have been spending their lives having to mask in order to get by, putting on a mask in order to fit in where they felt
Yeah.
they never belonged in order to disguise this thing that everybody seemed to be pointing at, oh, you've got a label, you've got that ADHD thing. Um, and I think we all do it. I think we all, but what you've just described is putting on a mask, putting on a persona in a positive way to be that person that you don't feel you are. But actually, you're just becoming that person for a little while. Not a horrible person, but that person that's slightly bigger, wears slightly bigger shoes, has got a little bit more sass, has got a little bit
Yeah.
more go get you kind of stuff. And it enables you to live that little bit larger than you would do normally and create what you need to create for yourself. And I think that's a really, I've never heard it said in quite that way before, but I wish I'd known about that when I was like 11, because
Yeah.
11-year-old me would have loved to pretend to be somebody else for a little while just so I could, get through the day. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's what worked for you, getting the money. I get it. So,
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of, you have to really, and there's a lot of things too. I think I had a lot of great people around me helping. I like to call, I do sometimes have a strategy when I'm working on a project, and it's making sure you're talking to the right people at the right time.
right,
And
right.
there's different kind of people.
Hmm.
There's people that that just want to, who know you personally, like you're very, my wife, my long-term collaborators, they know what my brain likes. So they can be like, okay, this sounds like something that you're passionate, like this is a you project. So keep going.
Right.
Okay, you need that.
Yeah.
And then you need some certain friends that are what I call rocket boosters. And they're the people that love anything you do.
Oh,
It doesn't even matter. Like, and sometimes you need that because you need someone, some points in the process, you need someone that isn't going to be critical. You
yes.
just need someone that, I want someone that knows nothing about this, but just encourage me and make me delusional. Like I'm in my delusion stage of this project.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the one or two friends that I know that love everything I do, that believe in me in that way, and they're going to say, John, that's a great idea. Go for it. Like I know you can do it. And you're like, okay, good, because I need that today. Because
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I believe it yet. And then
Yeah.
that.
That's,
And then you need then I like to go to some people that are the doubters.
yep.
And then I know, like, I'm going to pitch them this idea, and I know they're going to hate it. And I know they're going to tell me the 5 reasons not to do it and tell me that, you should really do this. You should focus on this. And I like that because that's usually a good sign I'm doing the right thing. Like, if the people I know who are always doubting the good ideas or are the cautious, maybe it's
Yep.
not out of spite, but maybe they're just the cautious people. They're
Concern.
giving
They're
you,
worried that you
yeah,
do something that might damage you or hurt you in some way. So
yeah,
usually it's your mum that's going, "Oh no, are you
yeah,
sure? Is that okay? You really should be doing that."
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you
So
mean. Yeah.
those people kind of get you, and they'll wrangle if you're going too far, or they'll see a good side of it.
Yeah.
But also sometimes those are the motivators where you're like, okay, I can't wait to prove these people wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I love them, but I'm gonna prove them wrong.
I'll show
So
you. Yeah.
so yeah, and I work very well under spite. That's one of my gifts is if people doubt me, I think I work harder at it.
Mm.
Um, I like to say I cover the chip on my shoulder by wearing my heart on my sleeve.
Oh,
You
don't.
know,
You're full of these bumper stickers.
this is what I do. This is what I do. This is
Gorgeous.
what Tex does. He's got sayings. Um,
Love it.
but it's kind of that thing that drives me. The way the chip on my shoulder that I've grown up with. Instead of letting that be an ego thing or whatever negative part of that is, I try to use that to drive my artistic side of me, like
Right.
to show my heart. And the more I put it out there, the more I'm fixing that damage that I have,
Yeah.
and trying to do it in a positive way as
Yeah.
opposed to doing it in a negative way and putting negativity on the world. It's like, well, I think my goal as an artist, and this is me personally, not everyone thinks this way, but those
Mhm.
things that I want to work at, those things I want to fix, those all those fill in the blanks of my life. The best way to work through that is by creating the best thing and really putting it out there. Because I think that
Mhm.
in my work, the more honest you are, I think audience resonates with that when they see the honesty from an artist, and I think that helps them receive that too.
I would imagine it's a bit like cooking. If you cook a meal and your heart isn't in it, then it will sustain you. But if you cook a meal that's made with love, that person that
Yeah,
eats it goes, "Oh, this is delicious." Well, I just opened a can and I poured it on some bread, and but no, no, it's really delicious. And there is a massive difference. Me and my husband say this all the time. When he presents me with dinner, he goes, "It was made with love." And
oh
I can see that. It looks gorgeous, and it's going to taste good because he's thought about every single thing. And there are nights when it's like, I'm so sorry. I would have loved
yeah.
it, but I didn't have time and this looks awful. And I imagine in the movie business, if you're watching something that's not been made with love, that where people don't care, and it's just like a money machine. Yeah, yeah. If we do these ingredients and we're going to churn out this money at the end of it, and this is the formula for a rom-com, and this is the formula for that.
Yeah.
Us as an audience go, yeah, yeah, didn't hit the. But if you make it with love, and you see the people on screen appearing, whether they are exceptional actors or not, appearing to be having fun, you kind of believe what's going on there because those people are gelling. And it's like a TV show, a TV series that goes on for 20 years. And those actors would tell you they were just having fun. And that's why it worked, because people wanted to see more and more of these people having a great time with a little storyline going through the middle of it all. Um,
Absolutely.
and I think that's what
Yeah.
you've done, is created something from a hot place of love, but with love going through all of it, like a stick of Blackpool rock, where the rice
Yeah.
goes all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And that was our goal. And I feel like we accomplished it. So we've screened the film maybe I want to say 10 or 12 times in theaters, across festivals, and the reaction's been great. That and the funny thing is, I think audience don't realize how like based on truth that the movie is.
Right.
So I mean, I obviously it's a movie. I changed some things, obviously for multiple reasons.
Mm.
Um, but some of the scenes, especially the scene at the end where I tell the story about the last time I saw my dad alive in the hospital.
Mm.
I what I would call witnessed a miracle,
Ah,
and the miracle also made me laugh. So so I tell this crazy story in the end of the film. So the main character Jay is played by Chris Labadie, this great actor, and the girl is Danny Kyun Kim, who's a big actor here. And at the end, Jay tells the true story of the last time he was with his dad, which is my true story. And
right.
it is. I decided at one point, I'm going to make this as honest as possible. This is verbatim what happened.
Wow.
And it dawned on me at one point that like I had never told my mom the story. I had never told my brother the story. I had
Wow.
never told so many of my close friends that were with me, that picked me up at the airport to take me to the hospital, that were, that knew my dad my whole life. Um, and so that was really interesting knowing like, oh, we're all sitting in a theater in Philadelphia and we're gonna learn about this
Wow.
today. Like you guys were there, knew what happened, but you didn't really know what happened. Um,
Did you
so
work out why you'd never told them? Did you keep it from them, or did you just forget to tell them?
I think for a long time, for a long, long time, and maybe this is why I was able to open up about it, was I thought this was a story only for me and my father.
Okay.
It was our last shared moment.
Mm.
And, you know, I was never like afraid to tell people because I would tell a few people here and there. I think for maybe the first couple of years, I kept it just for us. Like this was our special thing.
Mhm.
And then it would kind of tell people once in a while. But I think for the most part, it was really about, um, I think it's something that I know he wouldn't be afraid to share,
Okay.
you know?
You have permission.
Um,
Yeah.
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 So I think it's at the end of the day, again, I think if someone sees this movie who's lost a parent or lost a friend or lost anyone really,
Hmm.
that that maybe we can help a little bit with that healing. And I think I know we'd both be okay sharing that because if it can help someone, it's probably worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit of that now, or do you want people just to go and see the movie?
I think it's better if they see it.
Okay.
But I would say that yes, after my father passed away, he was able to let's say this. He was able to send me a message, and it was quite funny at the time. I think it was
Oh,
one of those.
that's nice.
So yeah, I don't want to spoil it for people. I think it's better if you see it.
Ironically, I feel that my dad, I know my dad sent me a message about 9 months after he died.
Yeah,
And so let me paint the
yeah,
scene for you. It was winter, it was miserable, it was dark, it was snowing. And I was on country roads going to a business meeting that was due to start at 6 o'clock in the evening. And I was going very slowly. I was probably doing about 30, 40 miles an hour on an A road. which is about as fast as you want to go in those weather conditions. And as I was driving along, I could smell my dad's tobacco that he used to have, Golden Virginia. It was a very distinct smell. And as I smelt it, I just thought, oh, sitting behind me. My dad's sitting behind me. I
Hmm.
couldn't believe it. So I looked in the mirror expecting to see his face. It was so strong and there was nothing there. And I'm like, oh man. But the smell was so I literally slowed right down, just stopped, turned around. He wasn't there, gutted, could still smell it, put into first gear, pulled off, and a car was coming towards me, indicating to go left, my right. And instead of just turning left, he came right out in front of me. I had to slam on my brakes, and I had just stopped in time before he went off. So we'd missed each other by a whisker. And I just sat there thinking, if I hadn't slowed
Wow.
down and turned around, I would have been in that car. There's no two ways. I'd have been sat in the front seat with that other car. And as I was thinking that, I looked up and I went, thank you, Dad. And the smell just went. Now, in a winter's night, there was no way that smell was coming from outside. And I was driving along for a good 5 or 10 minutes while I was going, is he there? It feels like he's.
Yeah.
And then when I got to my destination, another lady who I didn't know at the time, and she told me later that she was a sidekick. She came up to me, she put her hand on my shoulder, and I thought, let's get this is a business meeting. What are you doing? She said,
Yeah.
you okay? I went, yeah, I'm fine. No, I said, I've just had something lovely happen. She went, yeah, I know. And she walked away. And I was like, okay. And then after all the business had gone and we'd sat down and she was left and I was left, and she told me, she said, you saw your dad, didn't you? And it was like, and then I found out that I'm a bit psychic. I was like, okay, maybe tell me. But it was like, I didn't need her confirmation, but I knew it myself. So it was like that. Thank you, Dad, for keeping me safe. So I'm
Yeah.
always aware of, sights, smells, feathers, rainbows, everything like that. Because both my parents are now gone. And I really do believe that the consciousness of where they were from before or where they've gone to afterwards, we're all connected. They're still sitting here next to me now that I.
Yeah. Yeah. The angels show up when you need them, you know, and they tend to do. So, but so that's the thing. Yeah. You have to, if you keep your heart open and you know they're around,
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
they'll send you messages when you need it, you know?
absolutely. And even when you
Yeah.
don't need it, sometimes when you think, no, I'm fine, you're like, oh, okay. I'm
Yeah. They can still be, they still think they know what's best for you after all
yeah,
these years. Yeah.
yeah. So now the film is out and it's doing
Yeah.
rather well. What's the next stage? Are you now a feature film director, writer, or what's going on?
I hope so. I mean, I hope so. You know, we have this it was actually really cool. My producer Dan Reeser is a great filmmaker. He's a feature film director too, and one of our it's one of these things, these jobs or occupations per se, that where you don't become it until you become it.
Hmm.
You know, you can't apply for it. You can't, you either once you do it, then that's it, you've done it. You know,
Yeah,
once you've swum the English Channel, you can't say you've done until you've done it. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just the way it is.
Wow.
And I remember when we finished rapping, and he sent me a text, "Congrats, you're a feature film director."
Yeah,
And that meant so much to me.
I bet.
And then so what I found, and then he later told me that our friend Chad Hardigan, who's was our friend group's first guy to make a film, and then he's done maybe six now. He's
Oh.
incredible director, one of my favorites. But he sent the same thing to Dan when he
Mhm.
Dan made his first movie.
Uh,
And so I've been trying to pass that along too. Is now when someone I know who's made a feature film, you can kind of remind them that, hey, congrats, you're in this, like,
club.
this elusive club that we've dreamt of being in, that really doesn't mean too much in the grand scale of things. Um, that just knowing that, like, hey, the thing that it's not so much about, it's more about the journey than the result. And even when making the film, I said to myself, look, I don't honestly don't even care if it's great or not. I don't even, like, I just let's just do it.
It
Let's
wants
just
cathartic
We
for
said
you.
we were going to do it. We
Yeah.
tried for 13 years to do it. Let's do it. Let's do our best.
Let it have a life
Let's
of
do
its own.
let
Yeah.
give it, like, give it
Yeah.
a real honest try so that we don't feel upset about it, you
Hmm.
know, and then let's just live it. It's like our motto was always, like for me, it was, can I make, I know I can't make everyone's favorite movie. You know, there's people out there that hate The Godfather. They hate, they hate Star Wars. They hate, all these movies, these great movies. They hate
Yeah,
them all. So you're
never
like,
going
okay,
to please all the people all
you're
the
not gonna please
time.
them all.
No.
But can you make someone's favorite movie? And the
Mm.
first person was, you know, like, can I make my favorite movie? Am I going to be happy with what I put out there? Or am I going to be kicking myself in the foot the whole time, being like,
Could have done it better.
I could have done better. I wish this is the, like if you give it your all, like, will it be your fit, and will it turn out the way you wanted
Mm.
in your goal and not maybe the pressure of other people or, oh, I want it to be commercially successful. So I should do this or I should, I should do that. No, no, no. Just make your favorite movie. Start there.
Yeah.
Can you make your and then can you make your crew's favorite movie? Can you make a movie where people enjoy coming to work? People are proud of it.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, Chris Blim, said, who worked on the film, he said, "Hey man, I usually do these low budget small films a lot, and by the end, man, we all hate each other.
Oh,
These are hard to do." He's like, "But I would keep going, man." And I was like, okay, good. So I think everyone's happy for the movie, and when
yeah.
we had our screening, a lot of people, cast and crew came up after and said, "Hey, man, like and I get it. Look, it's hard. It's so hard to make a movie. It's so hard when our
Yeah.
budget is literally 1/20th of the lowest budget film. The movies that when they say, oh, it's a low budget film that no one, they're still costing $5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we had a 20th of that and a 20th of the time and not enough people. So happy that people who were in the movie then looked back and said, "Oh, this is a good one for us." I'm really proud of that. I was a part of this, as opposed to sometimes people act in a movie and they don't want anyone to see it because it's so bad. You
Yeah.
know. So this one, so that it was that, and then lastly, can we make just one person? Like, is there a kid out there who's someone maybe like me who comes from a diverse background? I'm half upstate New York country white dad and out in the jungles, uh, from Thailand, mothered. Is there someone who
Yeah.
lost a parent or lost a friend? Is there someone who just going through it right now that can watch this movie and for 90 minutes just forget about what they've been
Yeah.
dealing with and
Yeah.
just kind of say, you know what, you're right, you're right. Like, hey, if John seeing miracles with his dad, then I did smell that tobacco. Like, I'm not the only person.
Yeah.
There's other people out there, and maybe it's something like that. Like, hey, the thing I went through is the thing that this other person went through. So that gives me time to say, yeah, like this is not easy. This is a lot of pain. There's a lot of tears going through this stuff.
Yeah. There
And
are there are people out there that I think the reason why your crew and everyone involved with the movie it resonated with them is because you're telling them a story about life and about they have seen somebody else go through that or they've experienced it themselves or a loved one has gone through something like that and no one really understands it until they go through it for themselves, but to see it on screen, you are doing the lifelong um, the lifelong social need to tell stories. We all have a need to have stories told to us. From caveman days around the campfire, stories are how we keep our history alive, but stories are how we help each other. Stories are how we give messages. Stories are how we can resonate with each other. And whatever medium you use, whether you're writing Alice in Wonderland or you're doing Harry Potter on the screen, it's telling stories that resonate with people. And whilst Star Wars, you mentioned Star Wars, oh, it's sci-fi, oh, it's all out, in the universe, but there's a story in there, isn't there? There's that
yeah,
kind of thing that makes it relevant to people that are watching it. So I think what you've just done and the message that you got and the fact that you shared it really makes people go like, oh, that gives them comfort, and it makes them realize that talking to a stranger is not a bad thing. I do it
Yeah.
all the time. What a lovely thing to start the ball rolling and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I love strangers. Strangers are my favorite. Yeah, I almost weirdly love strangers more because
It's a blank page, isn't it? And they can
it's a blank page. Like so many times your friend asks you for help and I'm like, you're gonna forget to return that. You're a dollar short, but I know you came from rich parents. Stop lying. But a stranger, you're like, oh, maybe he needs my help. Maybe she needs my help. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna be nice. Like I don't know anything about them, so I
yeah.
kind of like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost count of the number of people I've spoken to, that total strangers on the train, at the bus stop, wherever, and have ended up having them crying on my shoulder about something that's going on. I think it's this
Yeah.
face that just makes people
Yeah.
talk to me. But it's, yeah, and understanding that all they want is to be heard and have someone
Yeah.
listen to them, and they just haven't got that in their life at the moment. And in the end, they're like, "Well, thank you so much. It's just, we
Yeah.
see each other again." I went, "No, we probably won't, but I want you to have a lovely life." And they feel settled, that they can move on and do something. And I've also been in that situation where I've met someone at a conference, and we talked all day. We walked around the conference all day. We had lunch together and we had coffee and we chat, 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 chat. And it was like I'd known him forever.
Yeah.
And you never know where it's going to take you. It's really interesting. And I had a wrong number once back in the day when you had wrong numbers and you didn't know
Oh
who was on
yeah.
the phone. Having the old
Yeah.
phone call. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I've got the wrong number. Oh, what number did you want? We started a conversation. 45 minutes later, I said, I really must go now. We had such a nice chat. Never spoken to him again, but it was
Yeah.
just somebody from the other side of the world. You just don't know what they're
Oh,
up to.
amazing.
And that's part and parcel of what Collaboration Global is about. So we have an online
Yeah.
community, and these people connect up through a purpose that they're having, through their business where they want to make a difference in the world, through the fact they want to collaborate, not necessarily know what they want to do, but they know they want to come together and be a force for good, and come together and hang out and look at possibilities and look at opportunities and be creative and be curious and try stuff out. And that goes from all walks of life. We've got students all the way through to people that have made their millions and come out the other end, who are retired, but they still want to be part of something that they're not fitting into, they're not having to, they are belonging. Because
Yeah.
ultimately, what we're doing is working from a place of love, which is
Yeah.
exactly what we're talking about with your movie. That's why people resonate with it, because it feels familiar. It feels a little bit comfortable. It feels, maybe it's made them think and they're like, oh, I didn't know that I was thinking like that. And it's given them that opportunity to see themselves in a new light. And I think that today, in this world, if you don't know who you are, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
And so to see things like this gives people that opportunity to just kind of reflect. Uh,
Yeah. And I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, yeah. We're just kind of trying to push this giant ball forward, and
yeah.
we have our so many years in life to try to get us going in the direction that we want to go, and hopefully people join us along the way.
So what's the next project?
Ooh, what's the next project? That's a good question. I have a couple of ideas that I've been working on. Um, and then there's a couple topics I want to explore. Um, but I would say mostly until I'm kind of giving myself till the end of the year and the beginning of the next to just kind of really focus on promoting this movie.
Yeah.
Really like said, I think with the discipline thing of doing the thing you hate but doing it like you love. Like I as much as I enjoy conversation and I do love going on podcasts and talking about it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I would love to be able to just okay, put this behind me and get to the next one. Like I'm more of a creator than I'm a promoter.
Yes. Yeah.
But the discipline part of me is going to stay disciplined and promote this film and get as many people to see it as we can to hopefully, I think also too, it's like a lot of artists don't see that the business side helps the art side,
Absolutely.
and that is a big challenge. for a lot of artists or creative people is they just want to create, they want to do that, but you have to understand that
Mm.
unfortunately so much of life revolves around resources and being a business.
Um,
And so yes, you have to do, it's not just enough to have the best chicken sandwich or whatever it is. You have to you have to have an audience to come buy it so that you can buy
yeah,
the ingredient, and keep it
yeah,
going and be able to pay your team good money, so I
yeah.
think I don't want to say unfortunately, but I think the focus of unfortunately to the creative side of me, the focus is to, you know, the if we can show us a bit of success of this one,
Hmm.
then that I think
Yeah.
that'll help the next one, and then help the next one, and
It's a necessary evil, as my name.
it's a necessary.
Uh,
Yeah,
but you know what?
yeah,
If you line up all those wonderful people you worked with, the actors and the casting people and the producers and la, 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 all the
yeah.
gazillions of people you see in the
In the
rundown,
credits, yeah.
in the credits, who's wearing the promo jacket? Maybe you shouldn't be wearing the promo jacket. Maybe one of them should be doing it.
I, I
Who's
the
natural?
one thing I've learned, and this is something that someone that I learned on set too, and this was one of my producers, Sean Cook, I think really hammered it home with me.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I like to call myself a reluctant leader. I think I'm a pretty good leader.
Mhm.
In sports, I was a leader in making the film and things like that. I
Yeah.
just don't like to do it.
Okay.
Some people love, like I work with some TV talent that they're former pro athletes, they're former quarterbacks, they're former, they're and they love it. And
Yeah.
it's great. They walk in and they say, "Here's what we're going to do, folks. You're going to do this, you're going to do that." And they command the attention. They
Yeah.
love to lead, they love to guide us. Great. I can do that. It's just not my
Your mojo.
first step. Yeah, I'm fine working with everyone. Let's do that. But when you are doing an independent project like this, or you're building a community like you have, at the end of the day, no one's going to actually care as much as you are.
That's true.
And even if you have partners, even if you have collaborators and things like that, at the end of the day, outside of, you know, you and maybe you have a really strong co-founder or something like that. But at the
Mm.
end of the day, especially this thing, like this is a movie about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a movie
It's
about
your
me and my
baby.
family.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the end of the day, you have to know that, and you have to accept that. And unfortunately, the beginning, middle, and end is about how much effort you put in,
Yeah.
which, again, to that discipline thing, I'd rather have, oh yeah, you give, if I had I'd have all the assistants in the world. They would send out every email, they would send out every query, everything like that. I would do that, but unfortunately, we're just not at that place. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Building
you know,
relationships, the easiest way to do that is doing it yourself, and don't outsource it to AI or an
yeah, yeah,
assistant or anything. It's got to be you, and then people get who you are and what you're about. And then when you're 10 movies in, and people are
then yeah,
clamoring for you to work with them, then it's a different ball game.
exactly,
But then you'll look back at those times and you go, I might not have enjoyed it very much at the time, but you know what? Looking back, those times taught me so much about myself, because you are
yeah,
understanding the whole process from beginning to end, and realizing what it takes, just what it takes to get the job
yeah.
done. So well done, you. I think
Thank
what
you.
you've done is beautiful and incredible, and I love your whole philosophy around getting it out there. And I love the fact you're just this beautiful storyteller. So I know there are so many more stories in there. Um, Tell us, where's the movie? How can we get hold of it? How can we view it? How can we share it? Tell us all the details.
Yeah, so we're streaming on a lot of platforms. You can go to abovethecloudsfilm.com. Well, that's the easiest way to get the links. So we're streaming on Amazon Prime is the best way to support us,
Mhm.
because you can rent it commercial free, and they charge you a little, but that helps the filmmaker the most. But if you're not able to, whether because financially you're not there yet, or um, I know your podcast is global, so it might not be in certain countries. We're also streaming on YouTube. and Tubi. Our distributor has a large YouTube presence, and I'm pretty sure if you're international and can't find it, that should be everywhere.
Wonderful.
That'll come with commercials or ad breaks, but it's the full movie. It's great. Um, yeah, just search Above the Clouds, Jon Hill, Jonhill, and it should show up. It should show up. Look for two gorgeous Asian people on bikes is what our poster is, and that'll be us. Because there was an older film a few years ago called Above the Clouds that I want to say was from Ireland.
Oh,
Uh, I haven't seen that yet, but that looked good too. But watch ours first, then watch theirs, and then then so forth. But
yeah.
look for the one with bikes. That's how I
All
tell
right.
people. Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. That sounds lovely. What a nice thing to do on a cold winter's afternoon when you're coming up to Christmas and you get a sneaky couple of hours to yourself. Go.
Oh, I think it actually would be a good family film. There's a couple kind of out there jokes that maybe your grandparents will have a good time with, and but you
Okay.
could sit there and watch their reaction, and what's better than a holiday with a little bit of awkwardness,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
a heartfelt story at the end that I think
Yeah.
people will really enjoy. Yeah,
I like that. Well, John, thank you so much for coming to share your
thank
journey.
you,
It's a beautiful movie out into the ether, into the atmosphere. I look forward to your next one with
thank you.
joy. You've inspired me because I've got a story up here that is only partly written down that I see it's, Richard Curtis, the amazing director, is so-called retired. And I think I'm going to have to get him out of retirement so that he can do my movie that's still in my head at the moment.
Let's do it. I
It's
love it.
that. So I've written my book, so I know about the writing down stuff, and that would be the fun bit is getting it into print. But it's then getting somebody to come and put it all together for me. So I'll come and knock on your door in
Yeah, hit me up.
in a in,
There's your Hollywood agent right there. There he
ah,
is.
awesome. We'll make a fortune, my darling.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
And of course, you're very welcome to come to our Collaboration Global sessions if you fancy. And they would be at collaborationglobal.org, our website. You can book on there and come to our guest sessions and meet some of our members. And I will be telling them about your wonderful film as well and sharing the link. So it would be lovely for you to come along, John. And of course, if you're listening to this and you want to come along, you might see John at one of our guest sessions. Who knows?
Yes, yes.
Maybe one day we'll even persuade him to be a member and have him on the
Let's do
podcast.
it.
Awesome. Thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much.
spending the time with us. I appreciate it. Take
Thank
care.
you.